Booger McFarland on Monday Night Football, waving the flag for the Tigers after a successful weekend in Tuscaloosa. How's it feel, big fella, that your former team right now is sitting in the top spot, number one, a very impressive undefeated 9-0 right now?
Well, obviously it feels great, but I think it's bigger than that. You know, the number one ranking, it's great, but it means nothing to the end of the season because there's only going to be one team left mid-January that's number one. I think the bigger thing for me, and I think Spears, hit the nail on the head when he said it, is that, when you get an opportunity to go into Tuscaloosa, to beat that team, a team that's been our nemesis, a team that everyone said we couldn't beat, a team that religiously comes into New Orleans and takes players that we want, a head coach who left our school, went to Miami, and then 2 years later went back to a rival school. I think it's bigger than the number one ranking. To me, it signifies everything that I just said, and I think it validates something that I think there are a lot of people, and I'm not going to ask for an apology for myself, but there are a lot of people that are owed an apology because, when Les Miles got fired, a lot of people, there was a lot of hate that came my way because I banged the table for that to happen, and I banged the table for Coach O, and I banged the table for somebody who wanted the job, not just the money.
Yep.
Jimbo wanted the money. Tom Herman wanted the money. They didn't want the job. And I think when you put all that into context, guys, and you look at where Coach O is now, and is he perfect? No, but he's done the job his way. He went out and he tweaked the program. And to me, that win in Tuscaloosa kind of validates all those things for Coach O and for everyone else.
What was the most impressive part about Saturday?
Well
that
said,
was very
Bud.
well said. That was very well said. What was the most impressive part about Saturday?
I think it was the poise, because if you just look at how the team played, they came out, it was 33-13. Alabama's a great team. You knew they were going to make a run. They made their run. And the offense just kind of said, okay, no problem. They scored. We'll go back and score.
Yep.
And, there was every opportunity for something bad to happen and for, not only the team but for other people to say, oh, here we go again. But they didn't do that. They just continued to play, and they played hard. And for me, that was the most impressive thing because the game's not always going to be perfect. And so when you're able to withstand some bad things happening, to me, that was the most impressive thing.
Agreed.
I asked you a couple of weeks back in meeting with these head coaches that you're on the tour with each week on Monday Night Football if they were talking about LSU or Burrow. Is anybody saying anything about Joe Brady?
Not really. Joe Brady is a very relatively young coach. He is super talented. I think when you look at what he's done in a year, it's been amazing. And I think the sky's the limit for him and wherever he wants to go next and whatever he wants to do. It sounds like LSU is making a play to lock him up and reward him nicely, which I think they should. So we'll see where it goes.
Boog, let's move to the NFL. Y'all had an incredible game.
Maybe the game of the year.
Monday night and especially when you look at like the fact that both these teams look like contenders. Where do the Niners and kind of Seahawks rank in your NFC standings?
I think when you look at Seattle, Seattle is maybe the most mentally tough team that I've ever seen.
Wow.
Just think about this. To go into San Francisco's house, you're down 10-0. In 5 years or 6 years, there are only 4 people that remain from their Super Bowl team. They've rebuilt their team. If you just think about everything they've done and their culture, they're out there in the middle of nowhere in the upper Northwest. Nobody really talks about them. And all they do is play a physical style of football. And Russell Wilson, at 5'10", doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about, Brady and Rodgers and Mahomes and, T-Bob's spoke hero, Lamar Jackson and all this stuff. Nobody talks about Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson, I said it the other night in the broadcast, he's the MVP of the season right now. And I think, people need to pay attention to that. People need to understand what he's doing. And people need to recognize that, Seattle is a contender. I think San Francisco is going to be fine because they lost. They played without Kittle. They lost Sanders.
Yeah.
They lost their center during the game. So they were kind of banged up, and they still had a kick to win the ball game. But in the end, you got to give Seattle credit, man, because to go on the road on Monday night, when you're really not the most talented team on the field and get a win, to me, that was big time.
Talking to Booger McFarland at ESPN. Booger, let's stay in the NFC West, something that we teased just talking about last break, Boog. So Niners and Seahawks are the class of that division. Are the Rams done? Because it just feels like they committed to the wrong people. It feels like they kind of mortgaged their future. What do you see with the Los Angeles Rams currently?
Well, the Los Angeles Rams offensive line is in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love my guy, Andrew Whitworth, and I'm going to play a lot of golf with Whitworth this offseason. But, I mean, they got smoked, man. That offensive line is not any good. And until that line gets better, I think you're going to continue to see them struggle.
Boog, I got one on. You'll be in Los Angeles next week for the Chiefs and Chargers, and everybody was talking about the Chiefs being up there in the same discussion as the Rams and the Saints going into the season and the Patriots. What's up with their defense?
I'm sorry, you kind of broke up there. Say that again?
The Chiefs' defense. What's up with them?
It's terrible. I mean, and here's the thing about it. They fired the coordinator last year, Bob Sutton. So Bob Sutton has got to be on his couch eating bonbons and ice cream like, hey, I mean, y'all could have kept me for this. And you know what? The Tyrann Mathieu is trying to make a difference. And it's not the fact that he's not kind of instilled his will on this team. It's the fact that I just think it's a mentality, man. And T-Bob, I'll equate it to this. Remember how we thought of LSU's offense regardless of who was the coordinator 5 years ago?
Yeah.
It's like, man, here we go again. Are we going to be able to run the football? Are we going to be able to, score? I think the Chiefs think about defense the same way. It's like, man, can we stop anyone, regardless of who the coordinator is? And at some point, it's a mentality about how you go about practice every day. Andy Reid is he's an offensive coach, and I just don't think that there's that much emphasis put on defense in their program and every day of practice, and I think it shows during the game.
Real quick one, just to follow up on the Rams as well to jump back. Do the Rams make the playoffs?
No, they don't.
Wow. That's
too tough. Offensive line is that bad.
The NFL, man. It comes at you fast. Speaking of which, the Saints don't just lose to the Falcons, get dominated in the Dome on Sunday. Now, it was kind of lost in the shuffle a bit here locally in Baton Rouge because of the huge LSU win, but you played in these divisional battles, Boog. Kind of like, how does that come about? 26-9, 6 sacks when I think the Falcons had like 7 sacks on the year. How does that happen?
Well, you know what, man? It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday, and it's not the fact that they aren't a talented team. It's the fact that any given Sunday you can show up and you can play to the level that your talent. They just hadn't done it so far, and on Sunday they did.
Boogie, you pulling up to the country club or to the school?
No, I got a tea time.
That's what I thought.
But can I ask you more playoff questions? Who makes playoffs?
No, you can't.
Okay, great. Here we go.
Right
do the Cowboys make the playoffs?
T-Bob, goodbye. I'll talk to you guys next
Did you
week.
fire Jason Garrett?
Later.
What about Lamar Jackson? Answer the question, Bug! You coward.